I'm live. Live from my bed. Why are y'all Canadian faves messing up? Why are y'all Canadian faves messing up? It's dark in here, but whatever. Got a light on. Thursday live. Lockdown live. Hashtag lockdown live. Y'all need to get your Canadian faves. I don't know why your Canadian faves are acting up like this. Hi, Ebony. Hi, Sketchnificent. Julian. Real Trini. Today's Canadian fave that has to get in the hot seat is motherfucking Abel. Motherfucking The Weeknd. This man had the nerve, the audacity to say that Usher Raymond IV copied him. They gotta be bored. I don't know if the quarantine is getting to their brains. But number one, your Canadian fave, The Weeknd, copied his whole career from The Dream. Let's start there. You ripped off your whole career from Terrius Nash from Atlanta. Let's start there. From your name, from putting that "the" in your name, you got that from The Dream. All that falsetto, all that auto-tune sound, all that moody, dark R&B, all that, you stole that from The Dream. Let's start there. The Dream literally made a whole track addressing this nigga. See, I created this sound. Yes, sir, I shut it down. It's only one number one. These other niggas are my sons. You ain't have no smoke for The Dream. You had nothing to say to The Dream. This man, number one, I'm going to need people to stop. The Weeknd did not invent that sound. Dalia, they are lying. Lies, fairy tales, and fallacies. He stole his whole sound from Terrius Nash. He stole his whole sound from The Dream, period. Falsetto, The Dream. I Love Your Girl, The Dream. He stole everything. Ghetto with Big Sean, The Dream. I know they fucking lying. Yes, he is reaching like he dropped his coke place. Star Dagger. I don't know if he got high before he gave that Variety interview. Like, I don't know. Number one, I already said number one. Number two, Climax by Usher came out in 2012. We are now in 2020. So have you been sitting on these emotions for a whole 8 years like a little bitch? Like, thank you. Thank you so much for doing Super Chat. Black Outcast Media. Thank you so much. Number one, Climax by Usher came out in 2012. So you've been sitting on this for a whole 8 years. It's not like this is your first drop to come out since this Usher record came out. The Weeknd had another album come out in 2016. Like, my nigga, you could have said something then, right? You literally have been for 8 years just fuming mad. Like, ooh, I was angry. Like, while we're talking about Usher did not fucking copy Confessions. Hi, Trey. Thank you. Trey did Super Chat. Thank you, Trey. Confessions. Superstar Usher is doing the falsetto. He's doing like that moody R&B. Let's also talk about how Confessions by Usher Raymond IV sold 20 million fucking copies, bitch. Pure album sales, motherfucker. Double fucking diamond album. Don't you ever fix your mouth to talk about Usher Raymond. You have one little diamond single, Abel. That's cute. The Hills was cute. That's cute. Don't you ever fucking have Usher's name in your mouth until you sell 20 million records, pure album sales, bitch. Confessions paved the way for you to even be here. Period. Usher's been out since the 90s. My Way is 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in a drop top, cruising the streets. Thank you, Focus Hard. You did Super Chat. Like, Usher is a legend. Usher is a legend in the game. No, this is the other Canadian bugging out, gone swimming. Nobody better not have Usher name in their mouth because nobody's outselling Usher, period. Nobody's outselling Usher, period. We could do hits for fucking hits. You know they've been doing these hit for hits on Instagram. We could do hits for hits. The Weeknd's hits are not touching Usher's hits. Yeah, with Lil Jon? No. The whole Confessions album, no. 8701, no. You're not touching Usher. You're not touching Usher. My Boo with Alicia Keys, don't come for Usher. Everybody loves Rain, man. We're talking about Abel. We're talking about The Weeknd. Like, don't ever accuse Usher of copying you. And it's just even more ironic because The Weeknd copied his whole entire style and swag, his whole musical style. He stole from The Dream. So, like, how you out here accusing people of copying when you yourself copied your whole shit from The Dream? And I'm really tired. Like, The Weeknd is Canadian. Like, I'm really tired. Like, you are a guest, bitch. Like, you're a guest in R&B. You are a guest. You better not ever talk about Usher, who was an icon in Black American R&B, who is a fucking legend. You are a guest here, bitch. You could get kicked out real quick. Uh-oh. Sorry. My orientation got locked. Thank you, Mimi. Super chat. You are a guest, bro. Like, and even like The Weeknd has borrowed so much from Michael Jackson. People love comparing this man to Michael Jackson. Number one, I'm gonna need everybody to stop fucking comparing these artists to Michael Jackson. There's only one Michael Jackson. Period. There will never be another Michael Joseph Jackson from Gary, Indiana, bitch. You bit your whole musical stylings also from Michael Jackson, The Weeknd. You bit your whole falsetto from Prince Rogers Nelson from Minneapolis, Minnesota, motherfucker. Black Americans, like, you are a guest. You bit your whole shit from Darius Nash, The Dream from Atlanta. You are a guest. And then you got the nerve to accuse Usher Raymond IV from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Black Americans, you got the nerve, after you are all up in our music, our genre, our culture, to accuse people of copying you? No. I won't allow it. And you really need to keep Usher's name out your mouth until you sell 20 million records. Pure album sales. Or shut the fuck up. They talk about The Weeknd has had all this influence on R&B. Where? He stole his whole style from The Dream. He literally stole his whole style from Darius Nash. I Love You Girl. Rocking that thing. He stole. And his vocal stylings, he stole from Prince and Michael Jackson. I know he's sniffing that stuff. He loves the nose candy. And Usher has been hitting the falsetto for decades. You can literally go back and listen to Superstar from like 2005. Like, you can literally go back and listen to fucking Confessions. Like, moody falsetto in R&B is not new, and you definitely not about to accuse Usher of copying you on a song that's 8 years old. What is up with this new thing of people waiting and sitting on their feelings for years and years and years, damn near a decade, and then deciding to say some shit with their chest all motherfucking late and after the fact? Like, Abel, you had another drop in 2016. You could have said this shit then. It would have been more relevant. Like, oh yeah, that fucking Usher song Climax that came out a few years ago reminded me of my stuff. And then we could have gave you a nice drag back then in 2016. It makes it even worse that you came 8 years after the fact. Like, you've really been sitting on these salty ass feelings for 8 motherfucking years. How dare you? And how dare you come for fucking Usher? Like, no. You will never even outsell Usher. You will never even approach Usher. And I also seen somebody bring up how, again, The Weeknd is a fucking Canadian outsider in our culture, guest. You don't even like fucking black women either, right? You the champion of the cokehead white bitches. That's all you do is make cokehead white bitch motherfucking music too. I don't even know, I don't know. You are not at the Legends table, Trey. Like, The Weeknd, you are not sitting at the Legends table. Like, Usher can sit at the Legend table. You know, Usher can sit at the table with Michael Jackson and Prince because Usher got them sales, bitch. 20 million records. Like, y'all really need to think about that. 20 million records, pure sales. Pure sales. Before streaming, before YouTube, records. I bought motherfucking Confessions. I bought 8701. I used to listen to that shit on the bus on my way to school. Usher, right, Julian. Usher is not y'all's peer. Usher is not y'all's peer. Usher is not your peer, The Weeknd. Usher not one of your little friends that you could just talk all this mess to. No. No, we are not peers. We are not the same. I am a motherfucking Martian. Like, and I'm glad that Usher didn't let that shit slide and addressed it. And all his little 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old little fans talk about that The Weeknd has done more than Usher. No. I don't know what's going on with the Canadians. Well, you guys know I do know what's going on with the Canadians. Drake opened the door for all these people to come in, for the Daniel Caesars and the Weekends, and for all these people to come in and feel like they have a say. You don't have a say. You don't have no fucking say. You're on crack, you're on cocaine, you're on all the drugs. Like, Usher been hot since 94. We are now in 2020 and Usher is still relevant and still selling. Who the fuck are you? Like, you literally have one diamond single. One. Usher has a double diamond album, and that's just one album. In addition to all his other albums, like, Usher is literally a legend. Like, seriously. You guys know I have another live where I was like, your faves are not legends. Like, these people are not legends. Like, everybody's in a rush to give this, like, legend title to motherfuckers. Like, Usher is somebody that's actually a legitimate legend. Like a pioneer, a game changer in R&B. There would not be no Weeknd even without Usher. Just like there wouldn't be no The Weeknd without The Dream. There literally would be no Weeknd without The Dream because he stole The Dream's whole swag, style, name, everything. There would be no Weeknd without these artists. There would be no Weeknd without Prince. There would be no Weeknd without Michael Jackson. But y'all trying to like put Weeknd up on a pedestal like he's up on these people's levels. No. Hey, well, stay your ass in the kiddie pool. Stay your ass in the kiddie pool. Stay your ass at the child's table. I see Caucasian producers throwing in their 2 cents on Twitter. Nobody asked you, you fucking Caucasian. Caucasians and non-black Americans really will bite the shit out of black Americans. Like, seriously, like, Prince from Minnesota, black American. Michael Jackson from Gary, Indiana, black American. Usher, Chattanooga, Tennessee, black American. Terrius Nash, The Dream from Atlanta, black American. That's 4 legends, icons that really paved the way for an artist like the Weeknd. I was about to say The Dream, like The Weeknd to even be here. And then you will have these fucking Canadians, these not even American fucking blacks, and these Caucasians to fucking be like, yeah, I'm better than them. No, the fuck you're not. Or be like that they're the second coming of this person and that person. No. There's a lot of revisionist history going around specifically with DACS movies, music, etc. It's getting very irritating. They don't know. Niggas don't know shit about no call me a map, I want to talk shit. I will never forget. I will literally never forget in my life. Never. I will never forget when Solange cursed out all these people on Twitter because they were talking bad about Brandy. And Solange was like, Brandy is a legend. Like, Brandy is literally the vocal Bible. Like, Brandy's an R&B legend. Seriously. And y'all, these white reviewers and these white fans and these young fans and these non-Americans that now want to be all in R&B and shit like that don't know the deep cuts. I will never forget, that was what Solange said. They don't know the deep cuts. They don't know what they're talking about. But they want to have all the opinions and they want to sit on the internet and sit on social media making fun of people and claiming this and claiming that. You're not about to sit on the internet and talk about fucking Usher. You're not about to sit in Variety magazine trying to sell your bitch ass new fucking album. Fuck you and fuck your album. But like, it's been fuck The Weeknd for a long time. Like, I don't fuck with The Weeknd. Like, my nigga, your only 2 good drops were House of Balloons and Thursday, and that was 10 years ago. But I don't know, before the cocaine got to you, to your brain. Like fuck you. Your music's not even all that, and all you do is rip off The Dream. Period. Like, period. I seen some people say Nicki Minaj got brought up again. I don't know how Nicki Minaj got brought up. Y'all love bringing up Nicki Minaj. Like, I don't know how Nicki Minaj got brought up. That's literally we can be talking about anybody and everybody and y'all will bring up Nicki Minaj. It makes no sense. No sense. Like, no sense. We will never. What? Okay. I accidentally hit the home button. Sorry, I accidentally hit the home button. I didn't mean to hit the home button. No, Starboy was whack. I said what I said. House of Balloons and Thursday are his only good drops, period. I said what I said. Period. 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 People talk about Nicki Minaj paying homage. You can Google and YouTube. There's plenty of compilations of Nicki Minaj paying homage to Lil' Kim. There's like literally so many of Nicki Minaj paying homage to Lil' Kim. So many of, it's too zoomed in. No, it's not. It's like regular. It's not zoomed in. This is zoomed in. That's zoomed in. It's not zoomed in. Y'all can't see me? Y'all can't see me? Right, like why are we talking about Nicki Minaj? Why? I don't know why y'all can't see me. I don't know why you can't see me. I don't know why you can't see me. You said my screen is black? I can see myself. I don't know why my screen is black. I can see myself. Maybe I'll close it and open it again. I can see myself. Let me close it and open it again. Can you guys see me now? I closed it again and I reopened it. Can you see me now? Okay, good. You can see me now? Good. All right. I don't know. That was weird. Because my camera didn't black out on my side, but it blacked out on y'all's side. Cool. So, again, we're not talking about Nicki Minaj. Like, we're not talking about Nicki Minaj. We're talking about fucking The Weeknd. I know you guys love The Weeknd. I know there's some kids in the chat right now that's steaming mad right now because you love The Weeknd. Fuck The Weeknd. Like, I have a real problem with him saying that Usher copied him. Usher did not copy you. Usher was doing falsetto on Confessions probably before you were motherfucking born. And definitely before your little 15 and 14-year-old stans were born. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about how this man is smelling himself because y'all have spent the last 5 years calling him the fucking second coming of Michael Jackson, which I hate that people keep doing that. Y'all tried to do that shit to Bruno Mars too. Stop trying to call people the next Michael Jackson. There's never going to be another fucking Michael Jackson. There's never going to be another Michael Jackson. Stop it. There's never going to be another Prince. Stop trying to put these labels on people. It's very fucking aggravating because now you have these people that are smelling themselves that think they could talk about legends and go after legends. Like, I really remember, like, when I was young, I feel like that type of thing was, like, not acceptable. Like, maybe it's because, like, so many of our, like, our stars and, like, especially our Black American icons have died. Like, they can't speak for themselves, but it's like this thing now to bring up Michael Jackson. It's this thing now to bring up Prince. What's your name? Dimran? Are you white? Are you white? Or are you 13? Or are you on drugs? Because you just said The Weeknd is better than Usher. Has The Weeknd sold 20 million records? Has The Weeknd sold 20 million records? Has The Weeknd sold 20 million records? I'm going to keep repeating it. Has The Weeknd sold 20 million records? Has The Weeknd sold 20 million records? One album? One album? One album? Anybody? 20 million pure sales. Has The Weeknd sold 20 million records? No? Okay then. 20 million pure sales before streaming, before YouTube, social media, streaming, internet. When The Weeknd has sold 20 million records, then you can have the audacity to even try and say that The Weeknd is better than Usher. But until that day comes, no, sweetie. Has he gone plat with pure sales? No features? Like, until that day, you better keep Usher Raymond IV's name out your mouth. Talk about something The Weeknd is better than Usher. Has he sold 20 million records? No. The gag is that he can only hit that note, and that one note that he can hit is the Dreams note, and Usher's note, and Michael Jackson's note, artists that came before him. And he literally said in the Variety thing, like, when I heard Climax, I thought that was a Weeknd song, and I got angry. Bitch, what? You stole the Dreams whole style. Like, how are you accusing anybody of stealing? Bro, go back to Canada, bro. Go back to Canada. They really think, like, they're outsiders and vultures in our culture. Biting off Black American icons, but then talk shit about us is definitely revisionist history. I saw somebody use that term. in the chat. It's definitely revisionist history biting us and then trying to write us out of history. Like, somebody really left a comment that said, like, The Weeknd is better than Usher. Like, do you even know who Usher is? Do you even know who Usher is in the musical genre of R&B and in Black American culture? Like, do you understand? Like, seriously, do you have an understanding of, like, who Usher is as an iconic artist? Like, this is not some cute, funny, haha, shits and giggles shit to say on social media just because. Like, this is why I'm telling y'all, like, it's culture wars. It's culture wars. It is a concerted effort to get rid of us. Like, call it what you want. Call it what you want. Genocide, culture, call it what you want. It's very serious. Seren, our parents made us respect the older artists when we were coming up so that when we got older, it was still respected. That's the difference. Like, people talk all that shit about, like, the Beehive, for example, but you will never... Maybe the newer members of the Beehive, but like the OG members of the Beehive, for example, you will never see them be like, Tina Turner is trash. Because Beyonce talks all the time about how much she loves Tina Turner and how much she's inspired by Tina Turner. You will never see them be like, Beyonce is better than Tina Turner. And Beyonce would never say that herself, and she would never allow her fans to say that type of thing. Never. She would probably get real offended. Like, we just don't do that. Like, we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that. You're right, we don't do that. We wouldn't dare fix our mouths to say some BS on the legends. Like we have respect. Like, Shaka Khan is a legend. I would never fix my lips to say, you know, that somebody is... I seen somebody say, like, oh, that SZA, like, bit Shaka Khan's, like, whole swag. I was like, she did. She bit it and she choked on it. I would never say, like, oh, SZA's better than Shaka Khan. Like, what the fuck? Like, the fuck? The fuck? No way. These uncultured 90s and 2000s babies don't know. They're uncultured swine. Male R&B legends, Usher, Maxwell, Keith Sweat, D'Angelo, etc. Can The Weeknd even sing? It's children 12 years old talking about The Weeknd is better than Usher. Usher could drop an album right now and it will go insta-platinum. I'm a part of Generation Z and everybody really needs to stop comparing these new artists to musical legends. Right. Hi, Birdie. I'm here. Can you see me? Trey, can he even sing? I love The Weeknd, but he could never sell that much. Let's be real. These Canadians finally got comfortable. Yes, people bought CDs back then, pure sales, no merch, no begging, no features. Like 20 million records. Don't talk. Don't talk. Don't talk. Just sit there and eat your cocaine food, Abel. And make your little fake Dream, fake Michael Jackson, fake Prince, fake Usher bops. You fucking Canadian. Or go home since you got an issue with the Black American artists and you don't like it here. Go back to the fucking Great White North. Beyonce is the closest thing to Michael Jackson we have right now. Don't like to compare, but if we're going to have that conversation, B is the only one in the industry who's come close. The Weeknd only has one note, and he can only hit that note with auto-tune. I think another good example, for example, is Miguel. Miguel loves Prince. He's like a huge Prince stan. And for me personally, I feel like Miguel and The Dream are really the only ones that are like carrying on like the Prince like mantle, like the funk music or whatever. Just for me personally. And people wanted Miguel to do like Prince tributes and stuff when Prince died. And Miguel didn't want to do them. He was like, I don't feel comfortable doing it. And I don't like when people make comparisons between me and Prince because there's only one Prince. Like, there's only one, the purple one, period. Like, all this, copying. How dare you say that your predecessor is copying you? How dare you? That's mad offensive to me. Like, no way. Leave our Black American legends alone. It makes no sense. Was The Weeknd on Moesha for multiple seasons? Anybody? Usher been in a lot of movies too. He was in The Faculty. He was in She's All That. The Weeknd hitting notes now. These artists need to be the best versions of themselves. I'm trying to figure out what the Usher, and I know people don't know what they're talking about because I've seen somebody say that. I've seen somebody leave a comment that was like, Usher is like way better than The Weeknd. And somebody was like, Usher can't be that good. You didn't even know how to spell his name. And the person replied like, you obviously have never heard an Usher song in your life. You don't even know what I'm talking about. But yet motherfuckers got an opinion and they blasting their opinions all over the internet. Caucasians and non-Black Americans, shut up. Shut up, guests and culture vultures, outsiders and vultures everywhere. I'm trying to figure out what the Usher would gain from taking from the Weeknd. What can he do that Usher can? Until the Weeknd puts in the amount of work that Usher has, then we can talk. Usher has a career like Usher. Somebody said like, oh, my fucking orientation keeps changing. Hopefully you guys can still see me. Somebody said like Usher has been in the game since '94. Like Usher literally has decades, multiple decades in the game. Like why would he copy you, sir? Why? Why? Usher is a GOAT. I think she's holding it down. Definitely with that song she made with Prince, Giving You What You Love. Thank you. In 20 years, this won't even be a debate. Well, it's not 20 years from now. We're not talking about something the Weeknd said 20 years from now when he was an established artist that sold 20 million records. Are you fucking slow? We're not talking, like, and I'm not gonna fucking get my foot off your neck because what you're saying is ridiculous. In 20 years, the Weeknd might be fucking dead. Like, R.I.P. Chiziano, China Rogers, she just passed yesterday from a fucking overdose. And we all know that the Weeknd likes to dabble in the nose candy. So let's be real. In 20 years from now, the Weeknd might be fucking dead. Okay? Usher has been, yes, like Sketchnificent. Usher has been doing this since he was 14 years old. Usher was fucking raised by greats. Babyface, Michael Jackson. Are you really... Like, I'm about to get up. Like, are you really trying to sit here and say... Are you really trying to sit here and say on motherfucking Al Gore's internet that the Weeknd has anything on Usher? Do you really, truly, in your heart of heart, believe that Usher, who was literally raised by the greats... Usher was literally raised by Babyface. Usher was literally raised by Babyface. Literally. Since he was a child. He was raised by legends. Do you really genuinely believe in your heart of hearts that the Weeknd will ever get on Usher's level? Not even on some surpass him. Do you ever, because that's impossible. Do you ever really believe in your heart that the Weeknd will be on Usher's level in 20 years, in 40 years, in 50 years, in 100 years? Do you really genuinely believe that the Weeknd will sell 20 million records of one album? Do you really believe that? Does anybody really believe that? Yes? You really believe that? How old are you? How old are you and are you white? You didn't answer. How old are you and are you white? How old are you and are you white? And those will be the criteria for if you get blocked. Don't lie though, be honest. How old are you and are you Caucasian? You lying if you believe that. I know somebody's motherfucking lying. They lying or they high. Nobody believe that. You really believe you're 22 years old. Okay, so you're a child. So you're a little kid. Okay, so you were born in 1998. So you're a child. Let me tell you, number one, your brain hasn't stopped developing. So you have 3 more years before your frontal lobe fully finishes developing. So maybe in 3 years when you're 25 years old and your brain has developed, maybe you'll know a little bit better. I don't know though. Maybe you'll be an idiot for the rest of your life. I don't know. You're 22, so I don't know. I could just chalk it up to you being young. But what I'm going to say is if you really, again, genuinely in your heart of hearts believes that Usher, who was literally raised by Babyface, you can Google this. If you believe that Usher, who was literally raised by a black American icon, that the Weeknd will ever be on his level. And if you really believe that Starboy is better than 8701, why in this era of streaming and YouTube and all this stuff has the Weeknd not sold 20 million records since he's better than Usher? Who can riddle me that? Anybody? 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 He's dropped 4 albums. He's dropped 4 albums. How have them 4 albums not hit 20 million? 20 million. Anybody? 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 Oh. I think I hurt his feelings, y'all. I think he's gone. Well, this was too much truth for you. This was too much truth for you. This was too much truth for you, so I'll just go ahead and preemptively block you since you... Right, Stardagger said, have you even listened to 8701? Like, I waited. It was like a lot of comments. Like, I waited. Right, it was crickets. It was crickets. It was crickets. Like, all right, well, because he's a flop. He's a flop. I know you're probably still watching. You just can't leave comments anymore, but let me be the one to tell you your fave is a flop. Your fave is a flop. Your fave has not sold 20 million records. Their 4 albums combined haven't sold 20 million. You guys also realize that, like, that 20 million was just one album, Confessions. 8701 also went multi-platinum. My Way also went multi-platinum. You guys realize that Confessions was the #2 selling album of the whole 2000s decade, and the #1 selling album was the Marshall Mathers LP. Of that whole decade. That entire decade. Right? Like, people, we've also talked about this before. People also, like, don't understand how serious like shit used to be. Like, we're talking about somebody that in a 10-year period, their one album over a 10-year span of time was the second best selling album for 10 years. For 10 years. Your fave has been out for 10 years. Like, your fave has only been out for 10 years. Your fave has literally only been out for 10 years. You talk about well, in 20 years, this wouldn't even be a conversation. In 20 years, Usher's still going to be a motherfucking GOAT. Like, in 20 years, Usher's going to have even more sales on top of the sales that he already has. Like, Usher's not going to stop selling. Like, and your fave is not going to catch up. Like, Chris Brown and Abel are the same age. Let that sink in. Like, The Weeknd is not even more accomplished than Chris Brown. He's not more influential than Chris Brown. He's not more talented than Chris Brown. And you can feel you can feel how you want about Chris Brown as a person, but like, he hasn't outsold Chris Brown. Like, we really have people that sit but again, like, I will even say that, like, say what you want about Chris Brown, but like, Chris Brown would never, ever, ever, ever be like, I'm better than fucking Michael Jackson, or I'm better than Usher, or like, these people are copying me. Like, never. It's so disrespectful. It's wild. Like, what? Like, that's all facts. Chris Brown is a trash person, but like, The Weeknd has to stop. He has to stop. He has to stop. Chris got a fandom call from Mike on his Sweet 16. Chris Brown has gave a lot of homage to other artists as well. People don't understand. They grew up on streaming and don't understand the magnitude of fame back in the day. I really think that's what it is. It's like, let's talk about, like, seriously, let's really talk about this for a second. Like, The Weeknd has one platinum single, and one diamond single, and that's The Hills. But even if you look at the breakdown of The Hills going diamond, that includes streaming, that includes YouTube play. That wasn't even 10 million pure sales for even one single. But then you look at Confessions by Usher, which literally sold 20 million copies, pure album sales, right? That was the second best selling album of an entire decade for 10 years. The only album that outsold Confessions in a 10-year span of time was the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem, right? And yet you could really sit here and be like, The Weeknd is copying Usher, or The Weeknd is the like, no, like, why? I said The Weeknd is copying Usher because that's what I really feel deep down. You could really sit here and be like, that Usher is copying The Weeknd. Like, how is that possible? Like, how is that possible? How is that possible? Like, somebody else said, like, what does he have to copy? Like, what does he have to copy? Before you was even in the game, I sold 20 million records. Why would I copy you? What am I gonna copy? I'm gonna copy a flop? We don't copy flops around here. We don't copy flops around here. No. Black Americans don't do that. Like, The Weeknd just had a #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and I bet none of y'all can even tell me what song it was. Where's the Impact? Came and went. Usher's probably the only artist that has gotten Luther Vandross approval to sing his songs. Weeknd could never. How can Usher copy you when he's been in the game before you? Oh, Ori said it was No Strings Attached by NSYNC, not the Marshall Mathers LP. I knew it was some Caucasian album. I truly don't understand how he listened to Climax and was like, I do this too. I thought Climax came out before The Weeknd came out. I am confused. Usher's biggest flop is The Weeknd's greatest hit. And I've seen some people that were getting offended by that. But it's like, it's true, though. When, like, you have certain artists that really are not just the pinnacle of sales, but the pinnacle of, like okay, people they're trying to say that, like, The Weeknd, like, changed R&B. Again, The Weeknd's whole style was stolen from The Dream with some Michael Jackson and some Prince. The Dream really did change R&B. Like, songs like I Love Your Girl and, like, these were huge. And his production values, like, people don't understand that, like, The Dream wrote and produced Umbrella by Rihanna, which was considered, like, a game-changing song. Like, The Dream really did change R&B with, like, songs that his own music, as well as the music that he's written and produced for other people. Anytime you hear songs that say, like, Ella, Ella, or like beep, beep, stuff like that, that's The Dream, okay? Like, The Dream really did, like, The Dream was responsible for a lot of hits. The Dream really did change R&B. Prince really did truly change funk and R&B. Michael Jackson really did change pop music. Usher, Confessions, really did change the face of R&B. Seriously. Like, these are, like, in the early 2000s, Confessions really did change, like, the R&B pop culture landscape. It genuinely did. You can't just, like, throw out here, like, you can't just, like, throw these things out here. And it really is, like, revisionist history and of, like, an erasing of, like, Black Americans for real. Like, The Dream is a good songwriter. He wrote Single Ladies, right? Like, The Dream wrote Single Ladies and produced Single Ladies, which people feel like Single Ladies by Beyonce was, like, a game-changing song and a game-changing sound. Game-changing is, like, not just something you should throw out there so lightly. The Dream's whole thing is repetition on the hook. Listen to all the hits he wrote. Umbrella, Single Ladies, Mary J. Blige, right? I'm just fine, 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 fine. Ooh, anytime you hear that type of, yes, that repetition, that cadence, that is The Dream. And especially in mumble rap that we have right now, which is, like, fused a lot with R&B, you hear a lot of that. You hear a lot of that repetition. You hear a lot of those repetitive hooks, those repetitive choruses. That came from The Dream. That came from The Dream. That came from The Dream. Like, all that stuff came from The Dream. Like, please, let's please. Usher had an epic clapback. Black Americans don't produce flops, and foreigners know that. That's why they try to copy and compare to us. It was Timbaland and The Dream for Game Changers as of recent. The Weeknd did nothing. They said the same thing with Drake. They said he was inventing emo rap, and now The Weeknd is emo pop. And people do not give Kanye West his props for 808s and Heartbreak. Like, I'm sorry. People don't give Kanye West his props for 808s and Heartbreak, and the back, even, like, further back behind that is, people don't give Kid Cudi his props for what he did with 808s and Heartbreak, for what he did with Kanye West, for what he did with a kid named Cudi. All this emo rap and this motherfucking rock star rap and these rock star t-shirts and all this tatted up shit and all this emo shit. I'm talking about my feelings and I want to kill myself, and all that shit came from fucking Kid Cudi. And then 808s and Heartbreak, the culmination of that. Like, yes, all these bitches is fucking Kanye and Cudi's, like, sons. But y'all want to give the credit to fucking Drake. Y'all want to give the credit to the fucking Weeknd. And I really don't think it's a fucking coincidence that these people are, like, Canadians and, like, other types of, like, non-Black Americans and fucking Caucasians and all this other stuff that are getting all these props for what Black American artists have done. Lil Wayne, I Feel Like Dying. Lil Wayne and his, like, whole rock era, like, this shit came from, like, roots that you could even take it, like, even a little bit deeper and get into, like, 3 6 Mafia and, like, the 666 stuff and, like, a lot of this shit, like, like DMX, another one, right? Like, a lot of this shit that we're giving props to, like, very contemporary artists and especially artists that are not Black Americans. Like, it's stuff that came from us, and I'm just not, it's revisionist history, and I'm just not gonna allow it, and I'm not gonna allow people to, like, sit on the internet and, like, blast this fucking shit all over the internet. And I've seen a lot of you guys saying R.I.P. China. Yeah, R.I.P. China. That's very sad. It's, like, very depressing. Like, people, I was very sad to hear that. They were raised by us, then want to lie about it. Oh, Queen put the Cash App, what is it? $, capital Seren, capital S, Seren, capital S, Sensei. Thank you again to everybody that did Super Chat. My older brother and cousins was into the emo rap. Folks pretending like they don't know where those ideas are rooted from. Lil Wayne influenced a lot of mumble rappers. Party like a rock star. Totally, dude. Canadians done won one NBA championship and now they feeling themselves. The Lil Wayne rock era was everything. I miss the Wayne era. Thank you, Tanya Tori. I showed my students Ja Rule and Mary J. Blige and talked about the evolution of the singing rappers. The rapper Zero from Houston has heavily influenced Drake's singing style. Hi. So I'm trying not to get it too close because you guys said it was too close before. Really sad. Didn't know of her, but she's a Philly native. Everybody should go listen to Glen Coco if you want to hear like a really good Chizzy song. Glen Coco is really good. And you know, I wasn't even planning on talking about this when I went live today. I remember when Lil Wayne went through his rock phase way before these new rappers. I grew up on DMX. Canada, look, we know where the music is really from. Y'all better stop. You could even say that this goes back to when Run DMC collaborated with Aerosmith on Walk This Way. Have you noticed not one Black artist in the 2010s decade has gone diamond, but multiple Black artists in the 90s and early 2000s went diamond, like Brandy, Lauryn Hill twice, Tupac, TLC. Didn't Nelly? I feel like Nelly might have went diamond. The music is not hitting. Like, the music, for me, this is just my personal opinion. And I feel like you guys know I've talked about this before because we talk about this type of thing. Like, the music is not hitting. I don't know if it's because Nelly did, right? Nelly went diamond like twice, right? I thought so. I don't know if it's because, like, Nelly's Country Grammar did go diamond. Nellyville went diamond. Because the music is garbage. Nothing's original anymore. The music is so watered down. All the music is derivative right now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's because, like, the music is derivative. Everything is derivative. Everything is, like, in this nostalgia. I do think the fact that, like, I feel like a lot of, like, Black American artists are not getting shine and not getting put on. I don't know. I feel like we have something. Like, we have the it factor. We have the whatever. And when it's wild. Because people want to, like, lock us out so bad. But when I feel like when we get locked out, everything suffers. Like, when we get locked out, everything suffers. When we get locked out of music, everything suffers. When we get locked out of art, everything suffers. When we get locked out of sports, everything suffers. When we get locked out, it suffers. Like, people look at the late 90s and the early 2000s as like, I miss the late 90s, I miss the early 2000s, I want to go back. If you, like, look at the artists from the early 2000s, like, and the whole rise of, like, the crunk and B era and, like, the rap that was out around that time, like Usher being huge, Ludacris being fucking huge everywhere, Lil Jon being huge everywhere, T-Pain being huge everywhere, The Dream being huge everywhere, you know, like, the shows, the TV shows, the movies, like, but people, like, love it, they stan it, and they want to make, like, a watered down version of it now, but not include us, and then it don't hit, and then everybody's looking around confused, like, why is it not hitting? Why is it not selling? Why are the people not feeling it? Like, you can't, like Master P said on fucking A Seat at the Table, like, you can't pull a plug on us, like, when you pull the plug on us, it's over. Like, when you get rid of the Black Americans, it's over. You have nothing. You don't have anything. You don't have anything. I don't, like, maybe that's wrong to say, but that's how I really feel. The recipe ain't the same. I said T-Pain. I was just watching the T-Pain versus Lil Jon. I said T-Pain. I was watching the Dave Chappelle show. Dave Chappelle from DC. Like, I was watching the Chappelle show because they were giving a Chappelle show marathon on Comedy Central. I was watching Chappelle show, and like the jokes was still funny, still hitting. Charlie Murphy, like the musical acts was still fucking hitting. Like everything was still hitting, just like it did back then when I was watching it when it was first coming on. Like you watch something like the Boondocks, like that shit will still hit. Like, you watch fucking, like, Bill Withers, R.I.P., died recently. You go listen to those old songs, they still hit. You go listen to the Funkadelic, the Parliament, the George Clinton, it still hits, you know? Like, it still hits. I don't think it's about buying full albums. I'm talking about the quality of the music. The quality of the music. Like, the quality of the music. It's not necessarily about the way that people consume it. I'm talking about the quality of the music itself is not there. And not just music. I'm not even just talking about music. Like, the quality overall. Like, shit is not right. Shit is not aging well. Shit is aging like bananas now. Like, shit is whack now. And I don't think it's just because of the way that people consume it. Because even in the early 2000s, like, early 2000s was the beginning of the LimeWire era of the consuming shit on the internet. Like, we consumed a ton of shit on the internet. Like, early 2000s rap was all about the blogs. Like, we was all on the blogs. We was all on Dat Piff. We was all on everything. Like, the blogs was telling you, like, oh, check out this artist, check out that artist. You actually looked forward to, like, the XXL, like, freshman class list. You actually looked forward to it because you actually wanted to see who were the artists that were going to be on it. Like, you were actually looking forward to these type of, like, outlets, and that included internet outlets. Like, we're already in 2020. Like, we're already pretty far into the you know, the 2000s, you know, the 20s era. So 10 years ago in 2010, like, the internet was around. YouTube was around. Like, we were still consuming via the internet. Like, Facebook was around, Twitter was around 10 years ago, Instagram was around 10 years ago. So I don't want to say that it's, like, strictly the way that we're consuming now that's different. I feel like the quality is different. Like, I feel like the quality is different. And it's not just the music. Let me see some of what you guys said in the comments. There, Nelly went diamond. Jasmine Sullivan needs to come back. Analog is the sound that heals, per studies echoes. I'm an analog girl in a digital world. Erykah Badu. Music isn't the same like it used to be. Everything sounds the same. It's trendy. The producers are garbage. I think it's the industry has changed. The artists getting the push are mediocre. China has a tape called Chinois on SoundCloud. Julian's recommending. China also has a tape called Chinois on SoundCloud that I'd give a listen if you need an introduction to her music. Nothing is inspiring or interesting anymore. The hype behind The Weeknd is he is Habesha Canadian. He has many female fans. This is Black American cosplay. This is the sample era. But even the original sample era, which was like the Kanye West soul sample era, it's not just that it's samples. Because the original sample era was, like, amazing. The original sample era of, like, people taking the soul samples from the disco songs of the 60s and the 70s and, like, putting them, you know, in songs from the 90s and the early 2000s up to the mid 2000s, you know. Diddy take hits from the 80s, make it sound so crazy. Like, it's not just that it's the samples. Because, like, it's already been proven that you can do samples in a way that's still unique and original. Like, it's something else. It's something else. We don't praise our artists until they pass. A lot of people are all using the same songwriters, producers, etc. Good music is still there. It's just being purposely overlooked. There's too few artists on the radio, too. Oh, Outkast went diamond, too. The music is about being on trend, not actually being talented or art. There's no emotional or meaning behind the music nowadays. Artists nowadays could barely go gold, let alone diamond. You see what Drake did with the Tootsie Slide. The Tootsie Roll already exists. Right. Copying Black Americans yet again. The right Black American artists ain't getting put on in movies or music. Hi, Mia. We do have the it factor, and everyone seems to deeply resent it. Uh, Also, artists aren't making music from the heart anymore. They're making songs to fit the formats. That's why the songs are like 2 minutes. They sound like snippets. You can't lock out the originators. The movies are also suffering hard. The TV shows and sitcoms. People don't seem to care about their crafts. Oh, you putting early 2000s. Mike Jones, Yin Yang Twins, Slim Thug, them Franchise Boys, Jaquan, all of them. The record labels are gentrifying Black Americans out of R&B and hip hop, just like we're being pushed out of the inner cities. A lot of people are not doing research on the industry. A lot of people don't know their industry, like history, their music history at all. It's all about cranking out singles these days. Beyonce spoke on that in Homecoming. It's deliberate blockage, cards stacked against real talent. The recipe ain't the same. You can't emulate a culture you're not a part of. The people who are getting put on are just not creative, period. They regurgitate the past and then get confused. Everything is very watered down. Devin the Dude has been rap singing since the 90s, and Pimp C was rap singing songs over hi-hats and bass in the 90s. Yeah, Sierra too. The industry let everyone else in to copy Black Americans, and it's not the same. You can't ride waves without us. We have always been this country's soul. Yes. Just like I said in my piece on the folk music, like, folk music is considered like the lifeblood of art in Americana, and like, that is us. I feel like people are being willfully obtuse. It is reckless to comment on a legend and not know anything about it. 2004 was the year of Usher. Please stop. New artists aren't forming their own identity. They're trying to be the next legend. 2 years ago, maybe even 3, we did a live on that. Anybody that hasn't seen it, please look it up. It's called These Artists Are Not Legends. It might be in the Beast Bake folder because it's alive, but if it's not in there, I know for a fact it's called These Artists Aren't Legends because we talked about it. We've been talking about this for a while, and it just seems like it's not getting better. It's getting worse. Yes, because we made classic art. Nowadays, they're giving us bland chicken. Bad Boy had R&B in a chokehold. So many groups too. Total, SWV, Mary J. Blige, hella singers got on their own stride. Black American art gets better with time. 90s nostalgia is being used as a concept in place of coming up with new ideas. Yes, and you guys know I've been said that the 90s nostalgia shit is not the wave. It used to be so much fun, but the thing is we keep letting folks in unquestioned and we just start praising so fast. R.I.P. Bill Withers. Things back then were created organically. It will always hit. Our music ages well. Quality versus quantity. Shit is aging like milk. A lot of the music today seems like it came off an assembly manufacturing line. It's hard to find good music because of oversaturation. Artists are so focused on making hit songs instead of great bodies of work. That song does suck, Julian. People just don't understand that you can't infiltrate other people's culture and leave them out of it and expect things to be the same. Right, Eros? It's not so much organic and authentic because they're not doing the research on the industry. I think that's also a good point, Kimmy. Like, just like how I said earlier about Beyonce and Tina Turner. Beyonce loves Tina Turner. She idolized Tina Turner. You can, like, see the influence in, like, her dance moves and the way that she sings, some of the costumes, like, and Tina Turner was that bitch, like, rock and roll fucking badass. Just like Chaka Khan was, like, a rock and roll badass. When you know your history and you do your research and you're able to really, truly, properly understand your influences, again, I also really feel this way about Miguel and Prince. And you have respect. Stop changing orientation. And you have respect. You have respect for your influences. You have respect for the artists that came before you. You have respect for the genre. You have respect for the culture, and you have respect for the craft. It comes across totally, completely, 100% different. I absolutely agree that people are not doing their research and they don't know their history and they're just talking out their assholes, and it's all coming across. Since the fucking orientation just changed, I lost where I was in the comments. Where was I? I lost where I was. Where was I? Wait. There. The way that music is being composed is formulaic, has no real human and emotional component behind it. Hi, Nelson. We're talking about motherfucker's other Canadian fave, The Weeknd. that try to say that Usher, the legend, copied him, which is ridiculous considering he copied The Dream, Prince, and Michael Jackson. Music sucks now because artists are illiterate and got other people writing their songs. We get locked out, build our own, and they act puzzled and confused. They want to objectify us so bad. Losing Bill Withers was heavy. Vanity. The movies are whack too. Look how quick Queen and Slim went. Bad Boys 3 made way more money. And Queen and Slim, remember I told you guys that shit had a push like I have never seen before. Like, cover of every magazine, buses, billboards, and then that shit motherfucking came and went. How was neither one of your leads Black Americans, but you're talking about how it's a Black American love story? I just can't. I just don't. And I also feel like talk about Bad Boys. Bad Boys 2, they ad-lib, sorry, that's my hand. They ad-lib so much, and you could tell. Like, that whole scene with Reggie, which is most people's favorite scene, that whole scene was ad-libbed. They just basically gave them, like, the setup of what the scene was. And they have even said, like, the dude Reggie, like, didn't know what they were gonna do, and, like, didn't know that, like, Will Smith was gonna pull the gun out, and, like, all the shit they were saying, like, nigga, who that is at the door? Nigga, it's Reggie. Like, nigga, how old is you? 15? 15? Nigga, you look 30. Like, that's off the cuff culture. It feels real. It feels authentic. And that's why people like it. You can't fake that. Can't fake that. Remember when we anticipated music videos, Death Not is timeless. Everything has an expiration date. It's the quality. Nothing makes you feel like it used to. I'm listening to some old songs and I'm right in that moment with whatever they're singing about. It's all pay to win now. You're 100% correct, because guess who's even producing most of these albums? Babyface. Black people is everything, period. I used to love Rap City, hearing the freestyle, seeing how authentic rappers are. Many indie artists really have the quality, but they don't get that push, right, Queen? Mixtapes were big too. 106 in Park was something to look forward to after school. Yeah. Nowadays, nobody gives a shit about the XXL freshman class now, because we know most of the artists are going to be whack. Queen, didn't one of y'all say in Discord that now they have singers in there too? Like, not even just rappers, because, like, nobody cares. Nobody's reading it. Like, when they had Iggy Azalea as the first woman rapper, they shot themselves in the foot, and nobody took them serious after that. 106 in Park Top 10 really told you who was popping and who wasn't. I do like Megan Thee Stallion. I did film a review to Sugar. I just haven't edited it yet. And I feel like Megan Thee Stallion is an example of somebody that's being true to themselves, which I like. I blame the producers too. Some are out here recycling beats. The Weeknd is about to be out of here like Bruno Mars and Cardi. That's why he's talking now, trying to create some buzz to stay relevant, because he know that album flopped. Well, he picked the wrong one. It's like some people he could have came after and said, oh, they copied me, and I would have been like, whatever. Usher was not the one. Usher was not the one, sir. You got the wrong one today. It's also TV. I was watching Jamie Foxx show, got in one of those TV trances. That does not happen anymore. Yes, Jamie Foxx show, In the House. We were just talking about In the House. That used to be my show. Wayans Brothers. Like, it's not just the music. It's everything. Yeah. Yeah, China. Black Americans can't be replaced or imitated. When will they realize this? They were sampling a lot in the 90s too. Yeah. Fast fashion, fast music has shown a drop in quality, even though back then we had online blogs and platforms showcasing music and artists. It's different now. Crazy in Love was sampled and still was a bop. Rap has always sampled, to be honest. Nowadays, even music videos are lackluster and bland. Hype Williams back in the day was everything. People's hearts just aren't in it anymore. You don't have directors like Hype Williams. Hi, Adoring Galore, I see you. Nowadays, we have too many non-black gatekeepers. Oh, look like somebody got blocked. The songs are like 2 minutes now. Internet has made people's attention span shorter. I think they just don't have soul. They just try to emulate it superficially. Maybe because the current generation followed directly from the things that never had time to age. Oh, what do you mean by that, Mystery? Usher just tweeted, "You ever seen the moon bark back at a dog?" Like he put his little video on Instagram of him singing Climax. Like, motherfucker, I could sing, and I've been doing this falsetto thing. I've been doing this falsetto thing since '94, baby. Like, baby, 20 million records. $20 million. Sorry, that was from SWAT. $100 million. I feel like artists nowadays aren't sampling right. They're just trying to copy the original song as a cheat code to get similar results. My type is Freak-a League, for example, straight up. It's karaoke, like you've said, an invasion by non-black American people trying to emulate American blackness, so everything feels fake and soulless, because it is, and I say that as a Caribbean person. Oh, where are you from, Melanated Mermaid? We be having a lot of Trinis tuning in. Y'all know I like Caribbeans. I feel like they are little kissing cousins. These Canadians, though, are doing too much. They trying to catch up to the black Brits. I don't know why. Drake is mixed white, half eyebrows. A lot of these new people just flat out can't sing, like, objectively. They don't know how the fuck singing works, and they blow their little voices out. This is why I like reading, because the films and shows these days are trash. Oh, somebody said something about Drake. I see. Yeah. I think social media has hyped up the untalented and non-creative and gave them a platform. We have lots of talented black folks who just focus on their craft but don't care about going viral. I really like, what's their name? Before You Get a Boyfriend, Girl. And they got that other song with Meg Thee Stallion. Got a man but I'm fucking around. What's that group? I know y'all know their name. I like them. Hi, Bailey. I'm so sick of social media rappers who never sold out an arena or collab with greats saying they are the GOAT. Devin the Dude has been rapping and talking about weed. Drake gets on my nerves with his gentrifying. I think this is a great question. Paul Darby put a great question about, I'm going to say this is about art and artists in general. So we're talking about music, but not just music. Are they having fun? Like, really? Are the artists having fun? Movies, TV shows, whatever. Are the artists having fun? No, then we can't live in the past. I think we're not talking about, like, that we need to live in the past. Everybody knows I don't like nostalgia. I don't like 90s nostalgia. I don't like early 2000s nostalgia. The point that's being made, Deja, I'm replying to you. The point that's being made is, what is the difference in the sauce between now and then? What do we feel is the difference? If we feel there is a difference, which a lot of us are saying that we do feel that it's a difference. Genuinely asking, how do people make original music today if they are not BAs? I think that people need to be themselves. Like we're talking about The Weeknd, who is somebody said a Habesha Canadian. Okay. Be yourself. Why are you copying The Dream, which you absolutely did? You're copying Michael Jackson. You're copying Prince. You're accusing Usher of copying you, which is nuts. Like, be yourself. That's how I think people will make any type of original art. Be it music, be it movies, be it TV shows. Why did Issa Rae have a whole magazine spread where she was dressed up like fucking Steve Urkel and Will Smith, who's still, like, alive and relevant? Like, Bad Boys 3 just came out. Like, why are you dressing up like Will Smith? Like, it's weird. Like, be yourself. Be yourself. Make actual original art that's based off of you and your background and your upbringing. Like, and I understand because people also always say this, that since American pop culture is black culture, is black American culture, and America's like reach is like so extreme globally that a lot of people feel like they know our culture or that they're in it, and that's why they make music in our image or in our shadow or whatever, but I wish that more people would be themselves. I wish that more people would be themselves. Usher's like a Bentley, Weeknd's like a Chrysler 300. He needs to lay off the damn drugs. Like that, I remember reading this saying on the internet that was like from some joke, might have been a Cat Williams joke, where he was like, a Charger or something like that seems like a Ferrari until you like actually ride in a fucking Ferrari. Like, it's not a Charger, bitch. Like, artists today are trying to get massively famous and rich, pumping out quick hits. We high-key got pimped out. We didn't intentionally sabotage ourselves. Tina Turner is that chick. Miguel respects and loves his craft. Some of the best artists are underrated. Once they became mainstream, their music quality dies. People don't respect the craft as much nowadays. And they definitely don't respect the Black American ethnic group. Kaylin said, would y'all consider Frank Ocean a legend? I would say no, but I know probably a lot of y'all would say yes. Tootsie Roll Dance was created by Uncle Luke's group. Nelson Green said Frank Ocean, never. Childish Gambino's new album sounds like Prince. Frank Ocean is not a legend. Frank, no. Wild Heart by Miguel, I love that album. Wow, I'm surprised by the number of you that are saying no. Frank, nah. I thought y'all would have said yes. The Weeknd is whack now. He's named after a SZA song. You guys are funny. I think we all know Seren's feelings on Frank Ocean. Right, I would say no. Yeah. We're telling everyone stop letting folks pimp you out and people still do it anyway. It's annoying. Can't save you if you don't want to be saved. They just asked Roderick, like, would anybody say that Frank is a legend? Okay, but the manufacturing line thing isn't new either. Motown was like that. Absolutely right. I was in Detroit last year filming for the Black Americans, and we did go see the Motown studios, and they literally were doing the same thing, like bringing in artists and, you know, manufacturing hits, but the hits were still, they had that something. People these days would rather compare Bruno to Prince instead of Miguel. Shake my head. Oh no, never mind then. But that's what I'm saying, fam. That's what I'm saying. It's like the new Beehive. Since you've been gone from Twitter, the Beehive has been trashing Michael Jackson for over a year now. They've been saying that she's better. That's like the new Beehive. That's why I said like maybe the new people, but like the original Beehive and like the older fans and the older stands would never. They would never. But now Beyonce got a lot of new fans since 2017. Bobby Brown also started the whole, oh my gosh, you guys are moving the chat too fast. I'm behind. And I'm like losing comments. I see somebody said Bobby Brown also did the whole singing and rapping thing. I'm behind on the chat. Shit, I must be a lot behind. Where? Bad Boys for Life was the best movie so far of 2020. I feel like, well, yeah, of course. Like, fuck the majority. You ever had sex with a man? No. You want to? I just got out of jail and I ain't going back. I'm behind. Double XL lost all their credibility. 106 in Park used to be the Bible for me. Yes, they did. They put Iggy Azalea on the cover. And Azalea Banks flipped her fucking shit, too, when they put Iggy Azalea on that cover. Y'all remember Sita's World? It's me, your girl, Sita. I remember I used to look forward to MTV Jams of the Week as well. The Weeknd picked the wrong one. Come from my fave ATL artist. I'm coming for your neck. Remember how we rode out for Tevin Campbell? Don't try our legends. Oh my gosh, you guys remember I was on vacation when that happened? And then I went live in the airport and I was like, yo, y'all are fucking going in on Lovey. Yes, drag her ass. Cha-cha. trying to say Tevin Campbell was under a rock? Excuse me, bitch, you will never talk about Powerline like that, ho. Never, ever. Never, ever. Never, ever. BET. Y'all better listen. Oh, haha, thank you, Scent504. You're listening to a master modern music analyzer. The samples now are lazy. Sampling is the basis of hip-hop. Usher about to blackball Abel. The 90s did sample a lot of 70s stuff, but they did the songs justice. Black culture is turning flavorless. Black American culture will never be flavorless. I also can't stand when they see a person has a Black American and another Black nationality parent. They always try to erase the Black American parent. Like fucking Tiffany Haddish. Like how Tiffany Haddish is like half Eritrean. Like her father was Eritrean and he like abandoned them and she like never even met that nigga until like last year, and her mom fucking that was like mentally ill like raised her and stuff. Like, but now she's like Eritrean. Whatever, girl. I know what you're not, and that's funny, bitch. You're not. One of my fave Usher songs, Bad Girl, has falsettos all in it, and that was all confessions. That's my song, Bailey. If you're a bad girl, get at me, bad girl. Work me, baby. We could talk about motherfucking confessions. I probably bought 5 copies of that shit. Out of them 20 million records sold, you know, 5 of them were mine. 5 of them were mine. Elaborate on the 2000 songs didn't get to age. Sweetie did cheat her way into a hit with My Type. She did. Artists nowadays need a popular feature instead of getting their own name out there. Sampling, I'm way behind comments. Wow, I have to be at least 10 minutes behind. Sampling is, y'all are chatting. Sampling is a part of Black American musical genres, but it was cycled through another generation of BAs who invented new genres and techniques very different than what's happening today. Oh, I see. Okay. Songs from the early 2000s didn't get to age. Got you. Mid-2000s came. Got you. Before the mid-2000s came. Yes. Phony people. That's them. Phony people. Yeah. That's them. Got a man, but I'm fucking around. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Catchy. I like them. Hi, Alexia. I don't think it's our culture becoming flavorless, but the most prominent part, like music and even African American vernacular English mannerisms, culture isn't just those things people are trying to copy. Right. Oh, Richie, I've been going up for them in the Discord. Some stuff people try to copy and whitewash doesn't hit the same. People from early times also drew from several decades, whereas now it seems like people don't study earlier acts to cultivate a new style. I agree with that, Mystery. Again, that's why I'm like really tired of people being so stuck on the 90s, because it's like when Kanye West was sampling, for example, he would sample a song from the 60s. He would sample a song from the 70s, from the 80s, maybe even from the 90s, like from a very wide and like all different genres. Rock music, folk music, fucking country music, fucking gospel music, you know, like disco, all these things to make for a richer, more well-rounded, varied sound. I definitely think that has fallen off a lot, which seems like with all the access that we have, which didn't I do a video on that? Didn't I do a video on that? Or did I not? I feel like I made a video on this. How with all the access that we have, you would think that people would be more willing to, you know, sort of move around in the vault of musical history, but people are not. I feel like I did a video on this, right? On access. I feel like I did. People are standing on the shoulders of people that they don't know. The artists back then used to have fun. I don't think the artists now are having fun. Most of them just want these careers because they make lots of money off so little work. People have to get original somehow. Patience and creativity is the difference between now and then. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, Deja. Got you. Social media got non-black people and non-black Americans thinking they invited to the cookout. you can be inspired and still pay homage. I think that's an element of it too. People are not having fun and they're not even enjoying the process. You could tell in videos on TV previously that they really had fun doing this. And I also think that that's why you have so many artists that are always complaining like, oh my God, I'm in the studio again. Like, I mean, bitch, you could feel free to go work at Walmart. Like, it's plenty of people that at Walmart right now, essential workers on the front lines that fucking can't take no days off. They can't get no time off. They're not being protected. You complaining about being in the studio. Like, shut up. Yeah. Be yourself and give due respect and credit to the locals. Exactly, Commit Princess. That's really how I feel. That's what I feel would make a huge difference in the art that's coming out right now. Be yourself and give due respect and credit to the locals. Let me see if I can screenshot this without closing it. Oh, wait. Let's try it again. Got it. Be yourself. Hi, Raise a Random Girl. Be yourself. Don't pretend to be Black American when you're not. I've mentioned this before, but I also think BAs have an easier time evolving because our culture is technically so modern. We've also discussed this on a couple episodes of the Black Americans, that for Black Americans, our culture is modern, and our culture has always involved change and always evolved having to adapt to different situations because of our historical struggles. So we're able to do that in a different way than other people. If I was a music artist, I would take my mom and my music inspirations and taste into my music. Real artists know the difference between interpretation and regurgitation. People don't know our culture. They only have a superficial understanding of it. New artists also need to take risks. Yes, Gone Swimming. Good point. Half and Half, Williams Brothers. I genuinely love our shows. Everybody also wants to bite off of popular dead artists like Aaliyah for shock value. Chrysler 300 is a nice car until a Wraith pulls up next to it and you realize it's just another GMC. Expressing with inspiration is different from using something to climb. So a lot of people said no. Survey says Frank Ocean is not a legend. The best artists are the ones who take their time with their art. Well, you know, Frank Ocean is another one that has this label of like that he transformed R&B. So I think some people might consider him a legend. I personally don't, but I don't think people know how to incorporate their traditional culture into something enjoyable, or they actively avoid trying to. Weeknd is a Ford Focus and Usher is a Jaguar. Yeah. The Weeknd! We're dragging The Weeknd. Frank hasn't earned that yet. Kid Cudi is one of the few mainstream acts that stayed true to themselves. Frank is not a legend. He has a lot of time to grow. Really like him, but no. Yeah, Frank ain't there yet. These new acts are like watching a bunch of cover bands who happen to have record deals. Like I said, karaoke artists, cover artists, cruise ship bands. I said that about Drake. I said that about fucking Bruno. And people act like I broke the world when I said that shit. That's seriously true. It's a lot of artists. These new artists also can't handle the spotlight. They need a management team because they're just going off on social media and they don't want to work for it. Frank only has 2 albums. He is not a legend. No. Frank cannot sing live worth a damn. Great songwriter and incredible creativity, but that's a problem. Motown was a collaboration and they took their time. I agree. And Motown was all about artist development. That was like the #1 rule of Motown. We're going to work with the artists. We're going to work with the songwriters. We're going to figure out the sound for the artists. We're going to figure out what's going to be the signature look for the artists. We're going to teach them how to dance. We're going to teach them how to sing. We're going to teach them vocal technique. We're going to teach them how to do interviews. We're going to teach them how to do appearances, you know, and we're going to make hits. And I feel like it was more so that they were trying to create quality. It wasn't like we're trying to just manufacture and crank out hits. It was like, we have all this talent in Detroit, all these talented black kids that have nowhere to go. So we're going to polish them up. We're going to really shine up the quality. We're going to focus on quality. And they just went from there. And their fans keep making excuses for them, saying they're introverts. First of all, MJ is actually an introvert. That's no excuse. Exactly. Oh, and that's the new Beehive. That's the new Beehive. That's new. They knew. I wouldn't call Frank Ocean a legend, but I can imagine him becoming a legend due to his popularity. They're not even in the Beehive. They're separatists. OG Beehive here knows better. The new Beehive are also the ones who disrespect her mom. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe the new Beehive are the ones. Like, somebody said it's been within the last year. Them, the new fans. Like, Beyonce's older fans would never do that. I wouldn't call Frank a legend just off the lack of time he's been around and lack of material. He hasn't done enough, but I like his work. Yeah. I've noticed that the younger fan base disrespect the legends regardless of if they are dead or alive. I also think that a part of that is stan culture, like this new element of stan culture. I feel like we was talking about this in Discord. I feel like stan culture used to be all about just loving your fave. Like, who remembers that old show Fanatic that used to come on MTV? Stan culture just used to be like, I love my fave. I want to connect with other people that also like love this person. Like, I was so like into Rihanna and like Rihanna Navy that like when I got on Tumblr, I like looked for all the other like Rihanna blogs and like, you know, all the fanfic. Like, we was reading fanfics about Rihanna and we was like looking at her clothes and her outfits and her shows and where was she gonna be and Fashion Week. But it was different back then. It wasn't like, let's say this is 5 years ago. The point of it wasn't like, we're going to talk about how much we hate Beyonce, or we're going to talk about how much we hate this person, or we're going to talk about how much we hate that person. We're going to talk about how, like, it was about how much we loved Rihanna. Stan culture now is weirdly about disrespecting the legends that came before and being like, well, fuck Usher because The Weeknd. Like, no. Why can't you just love your fave? Like, stan culture has really like morphed into something totally different than what it used to be in the beginning. I definitely think a huge part of that is the internet and social media, and especially Twitter. You guys know I hate Twitter. I really feel like Twitter should be shut down. I really feel like Twitter is bad for general society, like for real. Like, I really think it encourages nasty, bad, toxic behavior, and I think that influence is like spilling over into other shit, and it's having like a real negative impact on a lot of things. The baby hive give the OG hive a bad name. The new beehive disrespect her children too. Yeah, they're very disrespectful. Everyone became beehive after Self-Titled and Lemonade. If you want to be a casual fan, that's fine, but don't act like you know shit when you don't, and don't speak on what you don't know. I remember a lot of people used to hate Beyonce. Yes, I was like, drag her. Drag her. That is Powerline. Don't do him. The whole entertainment industry is lazy now. People are fake fans. Black American culture will never be flavorless. Beyonce is Beyonce. Michael is Michael. I don't know why everyone always wants to compare and pit artists against each other when their art is different. Again, that's like this new wave stan culture. Neo-stan culture. How is Black American culture becoming flavorless when it's literally fueling TikTok? Like, I'm just saying, she's not funny. Tiffany Haddish is not funny. Confessions played on the radio for over 10 years. I love Azealia Banks' music. I think Azealia Banks is a genius. She just struggles with her mental health. But I really think Azealia Banks is a genius, for real. The Dream Murdered, Extremely Blessed with 2 Chainz. Confessions is my favorite male R&B album. Yeah, no, I can't stand Tiffany Haddish. And somebody said that, like, she's good friends with Kevin Hart or something, and that's how she's been getting all these opportunities. And I've been thinking about that ever since. And tell me why I went to go watch The Secret Life of Pets 2 yesterday, which had Kevin Hart. And guess who was in it? Fucking Tiffany Haddish. I was like, whoa, are they really besties? Is he really getting her jobs? Because, like, now I'm, like, really, like, I'm paranoid now. Like, Also, our culture is being stolen because we take too much liking to other people and accepting and loving our art. The self-esteem is low. Absolutely, Elevated Goddess. The Dream literally had a song called Falsetto. Yeah. Azalea Banks is that girl. She deserves a bigger moment. I think she's someone that later generations will attach to even more. I really don't care what Diplo the Caucasian said. Like, nobody asked him for his Caucasian opinion on R&B. No one. No one. Nobody cares what the Caucasians and the Canadians think. Nobody. People whitewash black culture to slow it down and played it for white America to carry bank. People tend to forget that gospel music is the foundation for R&B. Usher was literally my first boyfriend, my first celeb crush. That Yeah song would come on when I was a little girl. Can't even explain how captivating and vivid that song was for me. Oh, sorry. How captivating that song and vid was for me. Thank you, J-Vol King. Gospel music is one genre we've kept closed up. I appreciate that. I feel like gospel music just really can't be emulated. Either you feel it or you don't. Many of these new artists are disrespectful when it comes to paying homage to and having respect towards the greats and the ones that came before them. And let me also say that since we've just got a little bit into stan culture, maybe that's also a part of it too. That people feel like they're stans of these new artists, and so in order to be stans of these new artists, they have to like tear down the old artists instead of having respect and paying homage. But that's still whack. Like, that's not cool. Confessions, Caught Up, Burn, Bad Girl, and people don't remember that Yeah is on that album. That is what you call a legendary body of work. I mean, I really feel like Confessions was like a thriller for like early 2000s. It really was. Today's music industry isn't necessarily about talent, but if you can sell, and anyone can build a following through the internet these days, and that's all they need because they can sell. Yeah, they can sell that way. My old singing teacher told me to learn to sing from my fave singer's fave singer. It helps to not sound too similar to current recent artists. James Brown is the godfather of Black American music. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of, Vanity. Cardi B's rant about being in the studio. I was like, why are you complaining about being in the studio? You're not writing. You're not doing anything. Like, you're just there. I realized how bad the quality of popular music is today from watching the GOATs battle on Insta Live. Sade is another one that never pretended to be a Black American, and Black Americans love her to this day. Right, like, we don't have no issue with people that aren't fucking pretenders. Like, just don't pretend. Don't pretend. That's how I feel about these young kids disrespecting Kanye. That ain't it. Every Kanye album inspired your faves, period. Hi, Mar. New artists also share too much on social media. Frank is innovative, but not a legend. Miguel is better than Frank Ocean. I still like both. Bro, I remember like 5 years ago. Who remembers this? 5 years ago, before I got banned from Twitter permanently, do you guys remember? I literally tweeted that. I tweeted like Miguel better than the greater than sign. Miguel is greater than Frank Ocean. Bro, people were on me for fucking hours and days. Like, how can you say that? Like, Frank Ocean is so much better than Miguel and da 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 da. And I was like, Miguel is that nigga and he has a way more solid body of work. And I was like, Frank Ocean actually continues to steal Miguel's things because at least one of Frank Ocean's Grammys really belongs to Miguel, if we're really being honest. Like, Miguel is better. Like, I like them both, but I remember like 5-6 years ago, that was considered a hot take. Like, we have a lot of actors playing singer and rapper nowadays. Hi, Natural Nia. Hi, Christian. Frank is also arrogant like these new artists. They are lazy and do the bare minimum. Hi, Gary. Mainlander nonsense, Gary. Why are they comparing that haunted strip club music to Usher? The audacity. Not haunted strip club music. Now that's what I'm going to really think. You can sample when you are fed from the tree. It ages differently when you love the tree and appreciate the roots. When you're willing to cut down the tree and sell it for parts, you are a parasite. Wow, that was beautiful, Daydreamer. Let me screenshot that. Beautiful way of putting it. They rarely do artist development now, unfortunately. Weeknd's best album was his first mixtape. I said the same thing. I said this man's only good drops was motherfucking House of Balloons and Thursday, and that was 10 years ago. Like, stop. Where? Don't trust them new niggas over there. Racy Random Girl. We don't claim those new Beehive. OG Beehive. Love Tina. I Like Thinking of You by Frank Ocean. Y'all remember that show? Yeah, Fanatic. Stan culture has gone too far. I think this generation relies too much on relatability and confuses that with good artistry. These new stans act just like Stan from the Eminem song. Bro, and they don't seem to realize that, like, the whole point of the song was supposed to be, like, you don't want to be like Stan. Like, Stan was an obsessed fan to the max. He fucking killed himself and killed his pregnant girlfriend. He, like, locked her in the trunk and, like, drove the car off the bridge for Eminem because he was, like, that obsessed and, like, angry. Like, you're not supposed to act like that. That's the point. What does Rihanna fanfic consist of? Girl, I have to tell you in Discord. Some of that fanfic was X-rated. I'm so glad there's a community of people here who don't mess with The Weeknd. It's refreshing. Can't stand his music. Oh yeah, girl. Welcome, Marina. Motown was created at a time when black artists wanted to be seen as opposed to making those race records. So that's why artist development was a big deal. Berry Gordy wanted everything on point. Social media has really thrown a wrench in things. Stan culture has also become too much of a barometer for the art. Stan culture is super vicious now. A lot of internet bullies hide behind love for their faves. Yes, Bailey. Dragging legends to uplift their faves. It's so freaking weird. I never felt the need to disrespect Big Daddy Kane because I grew up loving Jay-Z. A lot of the, like, our generation just wasn't on that wave, Tim. Like, we just didn't do that. A lot of these fans find it easier to hate on greatness they haven't experienced instead of supporting their mediocre faves. True, Mr. Goldstein. I was the same way with Chris Brown. I used to get on his website and read fan fiction and to just connect with others. The Shade Room too, Elevated Goddess, them too. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the Shade Room is ran by Nigerians. Sue me. I was crazy about Rihanna. I definitely think the whole purpose of Shade Room is to sow discord within the black community. Culture wars. I really think we're in culture wars. I was crazy about Rihanna from about 2006 to 2011. Obsessed. There's been no one since. Stan culture has morphed into this insidious thing. Powerline is the best entertainer out there. Chloe and Halle is cool. I think they're real talented. They're a little young for my taste, but my internet is being slow, so sorry if we're past this, but I just need to say this. These artists are just honestly fans living out their childhood fantasies and cosplaying. No one can touch Confessions. We're talking about The Weeknd. And if they're not fans, they lack creativity and balls to experiment and push music forward in new and exciting ways. Azalea is extremely talented. Azalea Banks still has one of the best rap albums ever. Broke with Expensive Taste is a classic album. Like, I really believe that it is. Kevin and her are really close. He probably is. I was so shocked when I seen her in Secret Life of Pets 2. I was like, hold up. Somebody literally just said that she's getting all these roles because of Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart is in this shit. Now she's in this shit. Tiffany Haddish was part of what brought down Self-Made for me. Tiffany lived with him too at one point too. They are close. Wow, so they're like besties. That's interesting. We ain't talking about John B and Adele here. Yeah, no, no, no. Tiffany was throwing me completely off and self-made. I'm just like, why? Kevin Hart gave her money when she was homeless. They didn't know each other then, but somehow they connected after she got into showbiz. Oh, wow. It'd be people without a stake in our culture that have the most to say. Yes. Stan culture is toxic. Us Black Americans need to start gatekeeping everything. Gatekeeping is what keeps a culture and a people alive. Confessions was iconic. I still remember when it dropped. Everyone was talking about it. The Weeknd and his fake falsetto trying to mimic MJ. We're not blind. He's no Michael. Thriller feels like a greatest hits album. Every song is incredible. Let's also not forget that most artists nowadays don't know how to perform. They'll have you waiting on an album forever. Yeah. Today's talent is about the number of followers people have. Hi, we were talking about Abel, motherfucking The Weeknd. Confessions literally went diamond. No other black male artist has done that since Michael Jackson. Usher is the king of R&B. Double diamond! 20 million records. Pure album sales. Like, how can you even fix your lip? Not, like, seriously, like, we say the audacity a lot, but, like, that's some big balls. Like, that's some big, hairy nutsack. To be like, somebody that sold 20 million records is copying you. That's like, if somebody, like, accused, like, Michael Jackson in his prime of, like, I think that Michael Jackson dude is copying me. Like, I think Prince is copying me. You sound ridiculous. You sound crazy. Sade is a perfect example. Brit Nigel, who stayed in her own lane. These teens don't even know how huge Confessions was. The Weeknd doesn't even have his own Thriller. He's just standing there like the cat in the hat. Hi, Mara. I love Azalea Banks. Her work is like 1970s, 1980s street art that comes to life in music form. Hopes that makes sense. And one of the most beloved songs from Confessions is not even a single. Superstar, Can You Handle It? Come on. You do know I love Miguel. Miguel Wild Heart is a classic. You ain't gotta lie to kick it. Banned from Twitter. Yeah, I need a shirt. Frank Ocean is for people born in the 2000s. It was like a hot take a few years ago to say that Miguel was better than Frank Ocean. Miguel, how many drinks? Frank Ocean could never. Mainlander nonsense. I love Skywalker by Miguel. That was right. That was very poetic. I saw stands of Summer Walker trying to say she's better than Rihanna. Girl, bye. Bye, 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 bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Somebody said, The Weeknd makes haunted strip club music. Raise your Crandom girl. I'm tired of y'all. Adorn is so beautiful. Girl with the tattoo. Love. 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 Miguel's first album and Wild Heart too. But Miguel's first album, like, All I Want Is You is like a classic album to me. Like, All I Want Is You is like really classic R&B to me. Like, it's the type of album that never gets old. Like, the replay value is, you can listen to that album over and over. Wild Heart, Kaleidoscope, like, I really feel like Miguel makes music that's timeless. And for some reason, Frank Ocean keeps getting his things. Miguel, just say you will come through and chill. You know how I even heard that fucking SZA song The Weeknd? I heard a Miguel cover. Miguel, like, covered it. And that was how I even heard it. And then I heard her version. I mean, it's her song, but, and I was, like, disappointed. I was like, damn, Miguel put you to shame on your own song, girl. Like, Quincy Jones, gave us Michael Jackson. Jermaine Dupri and Babyface gave us Usher. The Mainlander nonsense is abundant on Twitter. Now they want artists to come develop. They're not doing any artist development. Don't know if y'all remember when DJ Mustard was looking for an artist. He asked them to already have 1 million views. They don't want to do the work. A&R is a dead job. If The Weeknd left music, it wouldn't make a difference. He needs to stop. Stan culture scares me. Miguel just creates music. That's mostly what he does. He just creates. It's a lot of folk fed from our tree, though. OG Beehive stands might have had a cassette tape of Tina Turner. I did. No, it's not, Bambusa. Okay, people want to get on the Discord. You have to leave a comment. Not here in the chat, but on the channel. Or it is true that if you, I think there's some limit. I think it's like $5 maybe. If you give $5 on the Patreon, you get an automatic invite. But if you leave a comment, but not here, you have to leave a comment elsewhere. Tina Turner was my childhood for at least a year. Break Every Rule is an incredible record. I deleted the shade room from my feed for my mental health. It's a lot of deep-rooted black hate in the shade room comments. The whole point of Stan was that he felt a heightened sense of ownership over Eminem, like he knew him personally. Typical Stans don't even know these artists, but they feel that same ownership. I think Miss Rona shows us that your faves are boring and have no personality, just a face. These artists need to challenge Stans and ask them what they actually like about my music. Did that chord progression move you, or etc.? That's an interesting comment. Ooh, I see a bunch of people got blocked. Broke with Expensive Taste is a classic. Real shit. She had wild genres on there and made it work. I still can't get enough. I like SZA, but who was comparing her to Shaka Khan, the legend? Yeah. Unfunny besties. Who would have thought? Talking about Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish. Even as a kid, I was never super obsessed with my fave artist. I was a casual listen. You know, I also think that this is something from social media. I used to be obsessed with the music of my favorite artists. Like, I was obsessed with, like, Destiny's Child, for example. I was obsessed with their music. I would listen to their music for hours, like, over and over and over. Like, I love Norah Jones. I was, like, obsessed. Like, I can think of artists that I was obsessed with, but when I say that I was, like, obsessed with them, it's not that I was obsessed with them personally, them as a person. But now I definitely feel like with the rise of social media and the internet and Instagram and Twitter and feeling like you're seeing this person behind the scenes and seeing their personality and stuff, and like you know them, people, which we talked about before, people are becoming fans of the artists, not necessarily the art that's being created. And again, this is not just music. Like people being like, well, I like Lena Waithe, so I'm gonna like watch all her shit. Even though you can, like, go down the laundry list of, like, Lena Waithe stole from this person, and she, like, did this to this person, and she, like, did this to that person, and it's like, well, I like her, though, so I'm still gonna watch it, you know? And, like, then you watch it, and it's like, well, like, it sucks. The movie's bad, or it's this, or it's that. And they'd be like, well, I still like her. Not that you like the art, the artistic creation, but you like the person, so you're still gonna support it. Cardi has a lot of those type of fans. I think there's a lot of that now. Like people, which I do have a video on, like people support the artist in a different type of way than it used to be. It's crazy how outsiders can make money off of our culture. Superstar is my fave Usher song. Well, Raphael Sadiq is an OG. Anderson .Paak is not a black American. Have you guys not seen that Corona beer commercial that he's in? His mother's an immigrant. Raphael Sadiq is an artist. Let's be real. Rap and hip-hop started with the Last Poets and Gil Scott-Heron. Gospel, blues, R&B, soul came from the enslaved, creating songs to get through horrific days of forced labor and other abuses. The Weeknd wishes he could duplicate the range of Usher on Climax. Nowhere close. New artists believe their own hype too. They really be blowed by these stands. A lot of mainstream artists leave a bad taste in my mouth. D'Angelo is my fave. Black Messiah is one of the best albums of the last 20 years. I was just listening to it while I was painting this room. My go-to albums to listen to. 444, Black Messiah, When I Get Home, Seat at the Table. It's so hard for Black Americans to gatekeep because we don't have a language barrier. That's what insulates the Mexicans, the Asians, the Africans, etc. Interesting, Ori. Interesting statement. A lot of people don't know Sadiq is from Tony. The Weeknd only likes coked out white girls. That's it. Raphael Sadiq, Static Major, and Devontae Swing are the best R&B songwriters of the 90s. R.I.P. Static Major. Bree! You funny. Right. Kinky Jinxie. The Weeknd like white women. Usher always manages to adapt and deliver. Like you said, they are all karaoke singers. We do kind of have a language, African American vernacular English. It's just people be trying to get on that too. It's funny, an Ethiopian Canadian is telling an American descendant of slavery whose music he culture vultured that he stole from him. That's some irony for you. That's what I said. I was like, bro, what the hell? Abel really tried it. I can't. Hi, Nicole. All I want is you still bumps. Frank Stell's an aesthetic, not necessarily music, which is a problem in itself. I got it, Julian. I got the cash out. The Weeknd should have detoxed before making that accusation. You can be my vixen. That's the jam, Brianna. Brandy, Never Say Never, and Full Moon are classics. The Weeknd is Sebastian. Ethiopian. Oh, okay. Somebody asked the question. After Broke with Expensive Taste, I've been waiting for a new album. I agree, we do need our own language. These stands today are on some mind control-ish. The Writing on the Wall, Destiny's Child album is legendary. A lot of people are obsessed with... Oh, Desmond, you said you were the same. You were obsessed with the music, not the person. Yeah. It's true, Jada. I know they still watching. I'm sorry I'm behind, but I'm laughing how you told this person they probably can't comment no more, but they're still watching. That's how it be. We loved the music back then, just replaying like crazy. We didn't necessarily know them as people, just artists. There's more attachment now. That's stan culture. They glorify the artist and not their work on a personal level. Hi, Bushy Brows. I can see you, Sister Charisse. You're not blocked. Definitely agree. Social media has lowered the filter and even changed the way people consume music. SZA tried so hard to look like Shaka Khan, from the hair to the freckles. The good old cult of personality. Any Brandy album is vocal gold and amazing from top to bottom. True story about Black Messiah. Okay, I think I'm finally catching up. When they talked about Nelly's country grammar and the Black Americans. Mar! And you know, somebody left a really weird comment that I had to block that was like, you guys are calling Nelly country, but this is not the meaning of country. You know, like the stuff that the white boys and the cowboy hats talk about, like that yeehaw shit. Like, that's disrespectful to Nelly. I was like, sir, niggas started that country shit, sir. Get the fuck out of here. You missed the whole point, bro. You missed the whole point of the conversation. That's not white people shit. That's our shit. I can see you, Sister Charisse. Maybe I just didn't get to your comment yet, but I can see you. And you did super chat. Thank you. I can see you. Oof. Oh, his mom is Asian. I didn't know that. They showed her and I thought she looked... But, okay, whatever. Bushy Brows, thank you. Super chat. Maxwell's falsetto is unmatched. I also saw a lot of people saying that they felt like The Weeknd stole his sound and his look from Maxwell also. Like, just how dare you? Like, how are you accusing people of stealing from you when we named at least 5 artists that you definitely bid off of yourself? I'm sick of outsiders. Oh, yeah. We'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. Exactly, Mar. I was like, sir. Get out of here. The original cowboys were Mexicans and Black Americans. Hi, Sam. This shit is for us. Some shit you can't touch. His mom is Korean and Black American. Nah, I didn't watch that. You're right about social media. Way too much attachment. It's weird knowing this much, being shown this much from about people we don't know and who don't know us. He does look like a big head, out of shape Maxwell. I could see the influence. Oh. Let me see. No, Sharice, I just clicked on your name. I would be able to see. I'm looking at it right now. I would be able to see if you were blocked. You're not blocked. That's really weird. I don't know why it's doing it. That's really weird. I'll look after I end the live. That's weird. That's really weird. Bro, Nelly is country. We established American music and the idea of the cowboy. The Weeknd really is a Franken artist, a walking, talking patchwork of stolen styles. Yes, The Dream meets Michael Jackson meets Prince meets Maxwell, with even some Usher thrown in, who he accused of copying him. He accused Usher, Jada, of copying him. I can't imagine any of these artists of today getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. I can see you. That is so weird, Sister Sharice. I can see you. I just saw your comment. Did you retract it? Or did it disappear? That is really weird. Sharice, can you leave me your email really quick and I'll screenshot it and then you can delete it? Because that's weird. Yes, that's why this started. The Weeknd said that Usher copied him. Which sounds... Like I said, Usher has sold 20 million records, so... It looks like people can see you, Sharice. It looks like people can see you. I don't know why. That's weird. That's really weird. It's weird. Yeah, we can see you. We can see you. Hi, Books on My Social Life. We can see you. I'm confused how Usher could have copied anyone's style when his style hasn't changed since when. All these artists need to go back and learn how to respect. People hate Ye and act like Cudi is some question mark for them, but will say these new artists have people copying them. Never thought about it, but there are similarities between Weeknd and Maxwell. People don't give Ye or Cudi their flowers besides their fans. I'd be listening to Cudi these days and be like, ew, everybody literally got the balls to open up and be that deep from Cudi. We can see you. We can see you. It's Agent Ross. He got a vendetta against Sister Sharice. It's because you got that good avatar. You got that good icon. They're like, nah, we can't be showing all that. Ooh. I saw what Diplo the Caucasian said. I said, sir, you're a Caucasian. You are a Caucasian. No one asked you for your Caucasian opinion on R&B. Like, I really don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Right. Usher been with the falsetto emotional music. Even if you, Diplo, as a Caucasian, felt however the fuck you felt about The Weeknd, that's probably because you've never in your life heard fucking Confessions. You probably have never heard fucking Superstar. You probably have never heard, like, Just like Solange said, all these white producers, these white writers, all these white people that think they have all this space to move around in our fucking genre and give all their opinions on everything, but they don't even know our legends. They don't even know the deep cuts. And Solange used Brandy, who was like, you know, like around the same age, kind of the same class, you could say, as somebody like a Usher. Like, y'all don't know. Just because you're quote unquote Diplo, you're Caucasian. You don't know. She was like, you know, these writers, they write for these, you know, Pitchfork, and they write for all these magazines and stuff, and they think they know something about R&B. You don't know nothing about R&B. You're white. You are white. You're white. Like, why you even threw your 2 cents in? Nobody asked you. Uh-oh. I don't know why I just did that. That was weird. Even though he produced the song, he spoke on it after Usher said. Usher himself said, and The Weeknd didn't say Diplo in that fucking Variety article. He said Usher. He said Usher. And Usher addressed it. Why Diplo felt the need to say anything. Fanning the flames. Like, he said Usher copied me. Usher said, why would I copy you? I've been singing fucking falsetto. I've been doing falsetto music since fucking 1994. Like, what? What are you talking about? Like, Usher is a legend. Diplo felt comfortable throwing his 2 cents in. Too comfortable. White folks, vultures, and outsiders. Too comfortable. Too comfortable. Too comfortable. Don't care, didn't ask, plus you're white. You are a guest. You're a guest, and The Weeknd is a guest too. Canadian. Can we talk about My Way for a sec? It was a moment. It was different in a respect to the craft that he worked so hard at. Maxwell makes better music and vocals than The Weeknd. Usher Ben with the falsetto emotional music. We can be honest about our history and not erase other people like they try to erase us. Caucasians are guests in our music. The Weeknd isn't even on Miguel's level, let alone Maxwell. Fubu, period. Toast to Solange. The caucasity is trash. Solange, my cancer sister, stay speaking culturally aware facts. Solange was like really offended when those like white writers tried to talk bad about Brandy. She was like, no. The dude, white writer for the New York Times, tried to like say some mean, he wrote like a really bad review of her and then tried to say some mean stuff about her online. And Solange wasn't having it. Solange was like, no, I don't give a fuck that you the music writer for the New York Times. You're white. You don't know about these deep cuts. Stay in your white place. You Remind Me will forever be a classic. You remind me of a girl. Diplo is another white man who feels too comfortable taking up black space. What's the other one? Calvin Harris? That's not even his real name. He picked that stage name because he felt like it sounded black. He was trying to black it up. You can Google that. I saw that too. That Marsha Ambrosius was the one that was doing the background singing and the end singing on Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake, who's trash. Diplo is actually responsible for a lot of non-black artists entering black genres. Hi, Mulatto. You are actually an intruder. I'm calling the ancestors. White and not right. Bullshit. Bullshit, Galactic Girl. What do you think my opinion of it is? What do you think my opinion of it is? I don't watch that shit. Usher has more talent in his right thumb than Weeknd has in his old body. Nobody cares, Karen. Black Canadians are so guests. Yes, they are guests. First of all, how dare you say they're not? They absolutely are. They're not Black Americans. What? You must be trying to catch a block. You must be trying to catch a block. Calvin Harris isn't black. Girl, what? He's white. Moby bald ass. That's not his real name. Didn't know that one. That's not his real name. This man's real name is like, I don't know, fucking Todd. Some shit. He literally picked that name because he thought it sounded more black. And he was like, yeah, I was making music that was like more soulful. And I didn't want people to know if I was like white or black at first. I wanted like he was literally trying to like black it up. You can Google it. There's a lot of revisionist history about Brandy right now, which is really weird. It's very weird. Brandy paved the way for a lot of R&B singers. They better respect her. It's still blowing my mind that Weeknd even felt comfortable saying he inspired Usher when he's a whole bootleg MJ tribute act. And The Dream. Thank you, Mr. Goldstein put his real name. Calvin Harris, Adam Richard Wiles. That's the motherfucker's name. Adam Richard Wiles. He changed his name to Calvin Harris so that people wouldn't know if he was black or white. He blacked it up. He blacked it up. Frauds. Such a bland name. Legit thought Calvin Harris was a black man at first. And he wanted you to. You do know that fucking The Weeknd is not a black American that immigrated to fucking Canada, right? Who we're fucking talking about. It's been said numerous times that he's fucking Ethiopian. You do know that they also have a substantial West Indian population in Canada, right? Block, hide user on this channel. Anybody else want some? Anybody else? Every single black person in Canada is not a escape runaway slave. And y'all not about to do that. Y'all not about to do that. Y'all are not about to do that. Does anybody else want to be blocked while we're here? Anybody? Raise your hand now. Raise your hand, because I'll block you right now. Like, they have a huge-ass motherfucking West Indian festival, fucking Caravana in Toronto that's, like, full of fucking West Indians. Like, everybody living in Canada is not a motherfucking runaway slave. Stop this. Stop this. Stop this. We're not talking about The Rock. We're talking about The Weeknd. Block. Bye. Bye. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody? 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 Like, come on now. I talked about The Rock and his father and his background in my fucking video on John Henry. Like, come on now. We all know that tons of fucking black American slaves, like, ran away to Canada, but y'all not gonna pretend that all the black people there are fucking made up of, like, that type of ancestry. Like, come on. Come on. Right, why even bring up The Rock in this conversation? Like, come on now. Anybody else? Yeah, he did. His father did just die. Very, very, very sad. Like, we're not talking about The Rock. Like, we're talking about The Weeknd, who is already been established is fucking East African. Like, his ancestry is not runaway slaves. So why are y'all even talking about runaway black American slaves in The Rock in Canada? Why are we talking about that? People love the deflection card. Like, yeah, he tried to roast Usher. Why even bring up The Rock in this conversation? Block. Meat. Somebody said block party. These guests about to get chopped. The Weeknd is heavily inspired by Michael Jackson. Like, who influenced who? I worked with The Dream. He's 100% black American. He's written big hits. Hi, Vermilion Dynamo. You was trying to talk some sense to somebody that wanted a block party. So was Nicole. Yeah, that's black Canadian culture, not black American. Girl, interrupt this. Stop being obtuse. And the population that went into Canada was not that big. Let it go. Adam done failed blackface. Adam done failed blackface. Literally thought that Calvin Harris was white from the moment I heard his name. He just did not sound like a black guy to me. Calvin Harris sounds like a white name. Wait, hold up. People really thought Calvin Harris was black? Inspired by Barbershop, I suppose. Calvin Harris is a white DJ from Europe, you guys. I was listening to him before he became famous in the U.S. People apparently really thought, like, they really thought that man was black or something. I don't know. Listen, let me say this again, and this is the last time I'm going to say it. Let me say it again, because I've seen some people talking about it in the chat. Let me say it again, and this is the last time I'm going to say it. We all know that plenty of black Americans fucking ran away to the north to Canada. We're not, but that's not what we're talking about. That's not who we're talking about. Like, that's not who we're talking about. Canada also has a really substantial East African population. They have a really substantial West Indian population. You can't assume that every single black Canadian has some type of black American or descendant of American chattel slavery ancestry. You have to, like, look it up. Most of these people you can look it up and know. So, like The Rock, for example, his father does come from a line of black Canadians that are descended from black Americans. But we're talking about The Weeknd, who does not. Right, we're not talking about Dwayne Johnson's dad. Let's stay on topic. And if y'all really truly believe that all black Canadians are descended from black Americans, like, I'm just going to need you to, like, read up on Canada. Because, like, the West Indian population and the East African population in Canada is, like, really large and substantial. So, I don't know, Google. Your Google ain't broke. A simple Google search could have saved them too from getting blocked. Thank you, Tim. Right, they got, like, they're black Canadians, right? Like, no, I've had, my longest live was like 6 hours. Because we've done double feature Bees Bakes. Like, long, really long. Majority of black Canadians are immigrants, not DACS ancestry. Remember when they tried to compare Justin Bieber? Oh, no, not Justin Bieber. Justin Timberlake 2020 Experience to Usher Confessions album. I don't know why they would even do that. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. People would try to make black Canadians as adjacent as possible, but it literally only takes like 8 seconds of Googling to find out the truth. I am gonna come, Elevated Goddess. So I was originally planning on doing Deep South. Oh, no! Ooh. Sorry. I hit the button. My bad. I hit the button. That was my fault. I hit the button. I was originally planning on doing Deep South next year. Might have to be pushed to the following year because of everything that's going on right now. So when Usher hit the falsetto on Lovers and Friends, was that also taken from House of Balloons? Oh! That was also stolen. Usher, John, and Luda had to do it again. Diplo is from Tupelo, Mississippi, where Elvis is from. Are we really surprised he copies black music? That's where Ray Shremmerd is from. I feel like the Weeknd situation is an anecdote about how we treat the people that influence and inspire us in society overall. Calvin Harris doesn't sound like a black name to me. They tried to get Justin Timberlake to be Usher. I think that was him, Justin. Historically, house DJs were black because that's our culture, but nowadays not so much. Right, like, people like Calvin Harris and Diplo, like, you shouldn't even be here. Like, it really should be a black house DJ in your spot. Really just sit there and eat your food. I don't even know why you're involved in this conversation, bitch. Hi, hey dude, thank you. Making that assumption about Canadian blacks is anti-BA and erasure. Calvin Harris' real name is Adam. OMG, I'm screaming. Toronto has a huge West Indian and East African, Somalians, and Ethiopian population. You will rarely meet descendants of black Americans in Toronto. Y'all wildin'. They're wildin' so hard, Kayla. They're wildin' so hard. Talk about, well, the 3 black Americans that got to freedom. Boy, stop. Usher's releasing a new song at midnight, so thanks for the free promo. Oh, Usher's releasing a new song at midnight. Yeah, we gotta listen to that. I remember that they were trying to compare Suit and Tie to Caught Up, Mirrors to Confessions. They were trying it. More Haitians went to Canada than Black Americans. Malcolm Gladwell spoke on Canadian Caribbeans versus BAs. I tell everybody they need to read Black Like Them. I always say I know motherfuckers are tired of me recommending that fucking essay. Malcolm Gladwell, who was a Jamaican Canadian, moved to the United States and wrote a whole essay on how he was treated differently as a Black Canadian, as a West Indian, and an immigrant versus the way that the Black Americans are treated here. That was actually one of the first pieces that I ever read on this concept. And I was like, oh shit. So whenever people say this stuff about me, like all these horrible things about me, I'd be like, y'all need to check y'all own people, because Malcolm Gladwell is actually like somebody that kind of put the idea in my head. Right, let's stay on topic. I think that's the live where we were cackling about Earthworm Jim and socks. It was like 6 hours. Bye. Yeah, I'm probably going to end it soon. There's a gang of Jamaicans in Canada also. Yeah, I'm probably going to end soon. Yeah, I'm chilling. Yes, next Beast Bake is Panic Room. I was zoomed in again. Shit. Am I still zoomed in? Am I still zoomed in? Fuck. Let me close it. Oh, y'all can count my pores. In on my face. I'm not zooming it. I don't know why it keeps zooming in on my face. I don't know why it keeps zooming in on my face. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Why would I zoom in on my own eyeball? Sorry. Thank you, Sister Charisse. Yeah, I can't see your chats. I'm behind. West Indians and Black Americans are two different ethnic groups. Can't stand the way they try to bring in ethnic confusion to blur the lines of ethnicity. Sorry that you guys are zoomed in. Hopefully it zooms out. Hopefully it zooms out. I'm not zoomed in. It's not zoomed in on my fucking camera or anything. Hopefully it zooms out. Because I don't know what's going on. I didn't zoom. I didn't zoom in. Y'all can see me now? Yours is zooming in? I'm not zooming at all. Oh, it's zooming without me doing it. So I'm just reading you guys' chats because you guys are talking about my eyeballs and my face. Is that a baby in my eye? Oh yeah, it's possessed. Okay, well I guess we'll end it because it's not zoomed on my side. Yeah, I have a beauty mark there. Well, I guess you can end it then because it's doing that. I'm not doing that myself. I'll screenshot it so you guys can see it. It's like not zoomed in on my side at all. So I guess we'll end it. I'm just reading you guys' fucking chats because I'm not doing it myself. I probably need to restart my fucking iPad. Is it my nose? What's my Patreon? Seren Sensei is my Patreon, since Sister Charisse. It's my eye this time. I'm really entertained by you guys' chats. The Weeknd did it. It's on my eyeball. Okay, I'm gonna end it since it's like going up my nose and on my eyeballs. I'm not doing that myself, so I'm gonna end it. Sister Charisse, my Patreon is just Seren Sensei. Oh yeah, look, Owen posted it. Owen posted it. Owen posted it. You guys can see my brain. That's weird. I wonder if it's gonna do that on the replay. We'll have to see. A Weeknd Stan hacked the YouTube. Fuck you too, Weeknd Stan. Bye. Sister Charisse, I hope you got it. It should be there, or it should be on the replay, but it's just Seren Sensei. The skincare routine, wash your face and wash your hands.